make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The revolution starts now.
We have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Turn those machines back on!
You are about to enter the Peter Schiff Show.
Show me the money!
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
The Peter Schiff Show is on.
I don't know when they decided that they wanted to make a virtue out of selfishness.
Your money, your stories, your freedom. The Peter Schiff Show.
So, moving from the sublime to the ridiculous, I want to talk a little bit about this article I read today in the Wall Street Journal. Right, the title of the article is "More Young Adults Stay Put in Biggest Cities. Lack of Jobs Elsewhere, Tough Mortgage Standards Play a Role." And one of the people they feature is this Amir Nader. And she graduated with a master's degree in acting. Right, so maybe, I don't know what she undergrad did, but her master's is in acting. And she has $190,000 of student loans. $190,000 borrowed to get a degree in acting. Now, first of all, the odds of being a successful actor or actress, I mean, it's very slim. I mean, it's almost like, a high school kid playing basketball getting drafted into the NBA. I mean, everybody and their brother and sister wants to be an actor or an actress. And most of them just end up waiting tables. I mean, there's a few that are really successful, but there's so many people that barely make a living and so many that don't make a living at all. So when you borrow $190,000 hoping to be an actor or an actress, that's a really bad bet. But of course, government guarantees all these loans, right? So this article mentions the fact that this young woman, who's still 31 years old, right? So I don't know how many, when she graduated, it doesn't mention. But she's trapped in New York because she's got this job answering telephones. And it's not even 40 hours a week job. I think it said she's working 35 hours a week answering telephones. So she's a receptionist at a nonprofit organization. But why is she at a nonprofit? Because according to, the new Obama administration rules, if you work at a nonprofit for 10 years, they will forgive the unpaid balance on your student loans. So she borrowed so much money that she can't take a real job, because if she takes a job in the private sector, she's going to have to wait 20 years for her loans to be forgiven. So instead, if she just answers phones for 10 years, that she'll get her loans forgiven in a shorter period of time. So, and whatever she's getting paid, it can't be much, right? She's just a receptionist. So how much can she be making? $10, $12, $15 an hour tops, right? To answer the telephone, right? She lives in New York City. She has two other roommates. So she's sharing an apartment with two other girls, or with ladies. And her share of the rent is about $1,000 a month. So I don't know, maybe they have a 2-bedroom. There's no way they got a 3-bedroom for $2,000 a month. So maybe they have a small 2-bedroom. So I don't know if she shares a bedroom or maybe one of the girls sleeps on a fold-out sofa. But she's got $190,000 in debt on a master's degree, and she's basically trapped in a job as a receptionist because she has $190,000 in student loans. But she could have had her job as a receptionist without her master's degree. She could have had that job without her undergraduate degree. I mean, who even knows what her undergraduate degree is? Why is she a receptionist? Of answering phones. And that's not enough, to pay her bills. So when she's not answering phones, she's waiting tables. So she's also working as a waitress. But she has to hold on to this nonprofit job. And she really would like to move to New Orleans. But she doesn't think she can get a nonprofit job there. So she's stuck because she needs the nonprofit to get out from under her student loans, which she never should have got underneath if it wasn't for the government. But think about this from a taxpayer perspective. We're going to forgive these loans, meaning you and me and all the taxpayers. So this young woman borrowed $190,000 from the U.S. government, basically, to get an acting degree. And now, because she works as a receptionist for 10 years, we're going to forgive that debt. I mean, was that really worthwhile? We basically paid $190,000 so that this woman can answer telephones for 10 years. Even though, who knows, maybe she could actually do something more productive. But because we loaned her $190,000 to get her acting degree, she has no choice but to answer telephones for 10 years, even though she probably could have done that without a high school degree. This is the American workforce. How insane is this? And the article, this Wall Street Journal article, never even points out the absurdity of borrowing $190,000 to get a degree in acting. And what is this acting degree going to do her in a non-acting career? And of course, most successful actors and actresses don't even have degrees. They just start out, they catch a break, they work, I don't know, but most of them aren't professionally trained. Maybe they might have had acting coaches, but did they actually major? How many of the top Hollywood stars have their master's degrees in acting? There's probably some, but the vast majority probably don't. But this is absurd to borrow all this money. If you want to spend your own money, fine, but to borrow it for the taxpayer to guarantee such a long shot investment and then to give them the opportunity, well, just answer telephones. So any job that you get at a nonprofit, you could be a janitor. You can clean the toilets of a nonprofit for 10 years and you can have $190,000 worth of student loan forgiveness. Do we really want to pay our toilet cleaners that much money? And it's not just the student loan that they forgive, but the unpaid interest. Not just the principal. Imagine what this adds up to. But her story is probably pretty familiar. There are people all around the country that have all this debt and have nothing, and all they can do with their master's degrees are wait tables and answer telephones. But they don't even point the absurdity of this out, that we're guaranteeing these loans. And now President Obama is doing his State of the Union address tonight. I'll do a blog on it tomorrow. What does he want to do? He wants to make free 2 years worth of college, right? So just get more people to go to college, to waste our money on worthless degrees. Imagine how expensive college is going to be when the first 2 years are free, right? Because whenever the government reduces the cost, you think this woman would have borrowed $190,000 if she had to pay for it out of her own pocket? Of course not. And if she had to borrow the money based on her own ability to pay it back, you think any bank in their right mind would loan her $190,000 to get a master's degree in acting? Of course not. The only way these stupid loans are made is because the government was dumb enough to put the U.S. taxpayer on the hook. That's the only reason. This is not a fault of the free market. No free market would possibly produce this kind of insanity. This is the result of government central planning, right? This is what Obama wants more of, right? He wants to screw up the economy even more because the government hasn't already screwed it up enough.